Johnny is wearing the very latest in sartorial elegance. This is the kind of coat that has been seen this year at Royal Ascot. It was seen being thrown over a sweaty horse. It's very functional. One can walk in it, crawl in it, clean the chimney, or lag the boiler with it. And it is made from 80% monkey skin. The other 20% is kangaroo skin. It's hot fit. Now, we can't wear animal skins for clothing, and we don't. We don't need to. There's lots of textiles. Man-made textiles are natural ones. But we need to give them colour. That's what the programme's all about. Giving textiles colour, a pizzazz. Which is why we've got all these helpers over here, beavering away at their own designs. And look at some of the designs they've already produced. Aren't they fabulous? And you can produce designs like this. You see, we're very lucky these days. We can add colour to our clothing. In the past, throughout history, it's been very difficult for people to find colours that would work on textiles. Here's someone dying to tell you. Ah, hail, fellow well met. Come forward. Do not stand on ceremony. As you can see, I am attired in the garb of a Roman senator, in a toga, no less, with one previous owner, one, Julius Caesar. Now, the toga is rather difficult to get into, but getting out is a cinch. All one does is give a quick twirl. Hang on to that, Scylla, and round I go. And immediately I'm transformed into the figure of a Greek philosopher, Sosthenes, or Sosthenes. Bit of a draft round the Ionic pillars. Now, colour was very important to the Greeks and the Romans. They coloured their buildings in all kinds of colours, but they had a problem with their clothes. The problem was making a dye that was fast, that didn't wash out. Blood is not a dye, it washes out. Caesar died, didn't it? But it's not a dye. Yes, right. But they did have a dye, Tyrian purple. A beautiful dye which the senators and rich people of Rome loved to use. Thanks very much, girls. It came from a Mediterranean sea snail, and it took 7,000 to make 1 gram of Tyrian purple. But it was a wonderful, fast dye. Now, other colours were required, and all tribes throughout the world always sought colours and good dyes. In the East, they produced saffron. From yellows to orange, saffron could be produced. And Buddhist monks still wear it today. Thanks very much. It was made from crocuses. Yes, crocus stamens produced a whole range of yellowy colours. The Egyptians loved colour. The Egyptians were probably the first to start adorning their bodies in a decorous way, using makeup. Makeup very similar to the makeup we have today. Look at that beautiful green eyeshadow, which is copper carbonate. Any copper that gets wet or in a moist atmosphere turns green, and that was the green they used. They also used coal, K-O-H-L, to produce black eyeshadow and black eyeliner to wondrous effect. They also liked to colour their hair, and they dyed that with henna. Oh, and it produced this lovely reddish henna colour. But the henna came from a green leaf and was actually a bit stodgy and greeny. But they didn't just use it for their hair. They also coloured their skin. So there we are, henna. And all over the world, tribes were producing different colours. The ancient Brits were a fearsome race, and they painted their faces with woad. And woad was horribly smelly because it was sort of fermented leaves. Now, they say the ancient Brits were very fierce. The smell frightened all their enemies away. However, in North America, the Indians also painted their faces.
How?
How? By taking the earth colours, the colours of the earth, the yellows and the browns and the oranges of the soil. And that's what they used, not just for their faces, but also to colour the animal skins they are dressed in. And all over the world, people produced earth colours. And some of them were successful, some of them not quite so successful as dyes. But it all changed in 1856, when an Englishman called Perkin was trying to produce quinine, which is a very important drug. And he found that he failed because he produced something that was more purple in colour. Totally useless, he thought. But he found it was a fabulous and very, very permanent dye. It became very popular with the Victorians. He became a millionaire, and it transformed the world of colour, because since then, the dye industry has managed to produce synthetically every colour in the world you could imagine. What a colourful ending. And that brings us up to the present day, when we can choose any colour we like for our clothing. And that's what the kids have been doing. Now, Adele, this looks terrific. Can I hold it up? Now, how did you do that?
I had to paint the wax on the T-shirt.
That's the white outline?
Yeah, then colour in the shapes.
Each section?
With the dyes.
Yeah.
And then let it dry and then iron over it.
And that makes it permanent?
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful? I think it's tremendous. And how do you get the wax on? Oh, is this pen that you've got here?
Yeah, like you put the wax on with a wax pot and then just drip it on through the
And it drips out?
Yeah.
Terrific. And you've done some stenciling here, I think, have you?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Oh, this is terrific. Look at that. Good morning, world. Now, does the lettering go on first or last? Well, it must have gone on last, mustn't it?
Yes. We used the puff pens and then we had to leave it for 4 hours before we could fix it on with an iron.
And before that, you did these sort of rays and you stipple that, do you? Sort of splash the paint on?
Yes, we splashed it across with a toothbrush.
With a toothbrush? My kids are always flicking toothbrushes at me. Right, tie-dye this is. Now, I remember tie-dye from a long time ago. Explain what we do.
Well, we get some waterproof string and we wrap it round and tie it tightly wherever we want the pattern, and then we make a mixture of fixer, a salt and a dye together, and we dip it in, stir it, and then take it out and it'll be dry.
And because you've tied it, the dye doesn't get to all the parts.
No.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you get a pattern like that. Look at that. Isn't it terrific? Tie-dye. Now, look at this. You've ripped it. Ah, but you see, what he's done, he's backed the hole that he made with a different colour. And what about these? How do you get these effects?
I painted the black with normal fabric paint and the colours are puff paints. But,
Why are they called puff paints?
Because when you put them on, you leave them overnight and you run them over with an hairdryer and it puffs them up.
And it put like a little cushion?
Yeah.
Look at that. Isn't it a terrific mess? Well, it is, but it's fun. You see, there are new materials being produced all the time. When you put a T-shirt on, you might think it's an ordinary T-shirt. You'd be surprised. This T-shirt is actually made of this material. Different colour, of course. But it's special material. It's made of nylon and cotton. Nothing new about that, except here, the nylon is on this side, and you wear it next to the skin. But it's very fine nylon, so it's comfortable. But when you perspire, it gets wet. But don't worry. You see, you don't want perspiration held next to the skin. It's going to clog the pores and make you feel uncomfortable. But with this material, it's the other side, the cotton side, that acts like blotting paper and sucks the perspiration through and spreads it out into a very big area so the air, the wind and the sun can get at it and evaporate it, leaving you dry. It works brilliantly well. There are other materials, like this material here, which are made of very, very fine fibres. Why? Well, have a look. Lads, come and help. Grab a corner each. I've got some water here, and it's got a lovely sheen to it, this cloth. When I put some water on it, you'll see that the water is like quicksilver. None of it goes through. And that is why it's very useful material for things like ski suits. It will keep the weather out, keep the wind out, but also, because it can breathe, it will keep you comfortable. Now, with materials, there are other problems to be faced. One of the most important is that materials should be resistant to fire.
How?
Here we've got a fresh egg coated with a polymer called starlight, and it's very flame resistant. Well, it better be, because look, we're going to play this flame on it. And you can see there's sort of a sparkling, a little bit of charring. I'm going to leave that cooking like that and move over to here, because we've got some carpet here and another blow lamp. Now, you mustn't play with flames. They're very dangerous. This is a controlled experiment, and we've got firemen standing by in case I get it wrong. Piece of carpet, the kind of carpet that may be used in an aircraft. Blow torch on it, and it catches fire and melts, and you get lots of smoke and poisonous, toxic fumes. Similar material with starlight coating. And hardly any charring at all. Hardly any smoke and no toxic fumes whatsoever. And when I take the flame away, it's just warm. Just warm. I can feel the warmth, but definitely not hot enough to burn me. Now, the material can be mixed with the fabric, so the carpet wouldn't look any different, and it would be completely flame resistant. Let's see how the egg's going on. Look at that. You can see it's glowing red. And if I take the flame away, I'm not sure this is true, but I'm told that I can touch it immediately. And it is warm, but cool enough for me to pick the egg up. Now, what would happen if we play the same flame on a raw egg? Oops, didn't last long, did it? It blew up. This one has withstood that heat for all that time. And what about the egg inside? Well, this wonderful material, which can fireproof anything, can be used in so many applications, aircraft and so many other things, perhaps even in outer space. And what's it done with this egg? It's kept it absolutely... Just a minute, I need a knife, I think. Absolutely fresh and cold, I assure you. Freshness is important in textile designs and in fabrics. So let's have some freshness. Let's look at some new designs, the winners of our Helpers Design Competition. Hey, how about that? Aren't they terrific? All these designs were all their own work and cost so little. They're all champions. Thanks a lot. Super, it really was. Now, those were inexpensive designs, but of course, some designs cost a little bit more. Stunning, the colour is beautiful. They're all made by Patricia Lester in Wales, is that right?
That's right, Abergavenny.
Abergavenny, see? And they're beautiful because they're all pleated, densely pleated. You can see these, how they open out. And then they go back. Now, how do you keep the pleats in? Well, the pleats are baked in, and you don't have to hang them up, and you don't really have to care for them very much at all. Because look, you keep in a bag, knotted up. And they've got unusual names, haven't they, the colours?
That's right, they're called Summer Vampire Milkshake, VR Coffee.
This is silly, probably. But they're all individual colours, specially produced. And they're a little expensive. £1,500, £2,000 and more for these dresses. Wow, give us another 12. Where did she go? What do you think of this? Designed especially for me by Saida Parveen of Heathfield High School, Sandwell. And I think it's terrific. Design something for yourself. Get some colour into your clothes. Till next time, bye.